Well, here we are again. I've been playing with rigid body physics again. I'll just get rid of my screencast machine thing. Right, so what I've got is it's just a trial thing really. I've got 3 chain links, as you can see. I've got a bolt, a washer, support bracket, and a nut holding it all together. You don't actually need any of the bracket and nut and bolt thing. Right, I'll show you what happens with this. That's a rigid body, we've clicked on it. That's a rigid body, we've clicked on it. And that's a rigid body, we've clicked on it. But we've clicked it off. But anyway, not to worry. Click it back on again. And it's active. That one's active. This one will be passive, because we don't want it to move. And the washer also is passive because the chain links are going to hit it. You'll see in a minute. Right, we'll just play this and oh dear, dear, dear. Now that's pretty good. Often they'll fly off in all directions. I'll show you what you do. Go here. Now this is something I discovered. These links are gold, as you'll see at the end, but go down here. Rigid body. Calculate mass. And then you can pick it for dozens and dozens of them. You can even calculate your own. So we get a thing weighing 3 tons. That's metric tons. I'll show you. And the reason it does is because it's massive. 3.5 meters long, 2.5 wide, and 0.5 meter diameter. So, you know, it's a big piece of gold. Wish I owned it. Oh dear, and it still goes. You'll get used to this, it happens a lot. With no collision margin set on this one. The others I've all set already, but that's default 0.04. Oh, and it still doesn't work, even with a collision margin. Show you, don't panic. We go in here. As default, it regards it as a convex hull, which is basically just disregards any holes in things. Imagine it just wrapped in cling film, and it only calculates round the outside. So what we have to do is go in here, ignore all these, and call it a mesh. It takes a bit longer to calculate, and bingo. Perfect. Or at least we think it is, but oh dear, it's going to fall through. Oh dear. There it goes. Right, so we've got to sort that now. Now, there are 2 ways to do this. You can increase the margin. And this wouldn't really matter for video. I'm just trying to get a view for you. But you'd never notice that. But watch what happens. See, it gets a little bit big. You probably still never notice on a video, you know, sort of animation. But beware, it's there. You know, it's just one of those things that you just have to keep playing. The least you can get away with, basically. Now what I'm going to do is keyframe that at frame 130 odd, and I'll keyframe it again at 200 and something or wherever, it doesn't really matter, just a bit further on, and increase the margin, sensitivity margin. Still running the physics simulation, you see, because I'm running to 500 while I'm running to 494. Bounciness you want to leave at 0, even though it's bouncing, it shouldn't be. Friction I don't really bother with. Right, so that's that one. Switch it over to colour for you, just for a bit of a change. Switch those off so we can see it. Go back to the beginning. Excuse me. That's pretty good now, but it's still jiggling about. It's not going to fall through. It probably would if you ran it to 1000. So what we have to do is come down into I think I've got the wrong one here. I've run out of, what do you call it? We don't want the passive one, we want one of the other links. Well, we want both of them eventually. It's getting there. It's still moving. So I'll select one of these, bring it to about somewhere there, and we'll come down, and we've got damping at 0.7 at the moment. It's keyframed. Do the same for this one. They're not identical, but it could be if I was really fussy. Move it on a bit, say 250. Damp it completely and keyframe it. Do the other one the same. And that should, when we play this now, solve the problem. Jittering a bit, we should shift those keyframes across. But now it's perfect. And that's about it. Loads of things to play with.